Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is a Tuesday night, which means that if there is a reason to, I could be reading a few things in honor of the cafe on Tuesday nights, the Cafe Gallery on Wednesday nights. And I thought, last time I did readings, I believe I was at a brewery, and one of the regulars at the Cafe Gallery was like, hey, it was all black and white, there was no color and sketchy, and I'm like, that was a video effect that was on for a live feed for everybody, so I thought I'd try a different weird effect. Instead of just having just a regular video that's showing up, if I can have weird, bizarro effects, why not give it a try? So I have no idea how this one will turn out. I hope people on the live Facebook feed appreciate it, the weirdness of the videos that I'm trying to put up for you with readings. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I thought, as I look out my window for my library here, I thought I would share with you a couple of poems from not a Scars Publications book, but a Cyberwit book, which is, and I should be waving to people that are watching live, but a Cyberwit publisher based in India. They published a book of my poetry, and they released this just the end of January, and it's a book that is titled Eternal Never Ending Now. And it's got a bunch of poems on a bunch of different issues, and I thought I would share with you 4 poems in a row, just pick them out from the middle of this book, and they start to slide from one topic to the next. I hope you appreciate them. This first one is a poem that's titled Barbie. My sister-in-law gave me a Midge doll set when she married my brother. Midge came complete with a wardrobe of designer floor-length dresses with sequins and tulle and 3/4 length gloves. But Midge was an older model, had short red hair, styled like a housewife, not like Barbie's, long and blonde and flowing. And Midge could never sit in a chair because her plastic legs were rigid and couldn't bend. For my 6th birthday, I received a PJ doll, one of Barbie's friends. PJ's hair was blonde, like Barbie's, but it was also shorter, and her eyes were brown, like mine. Not eyes to dream of. Eyes like mine. When I finally got you, Barbie, I treated you like some sort of a goddess. You with your disproportionate figure and perpetual smile. When you never eat, you can stay thin. You can always be happy. I took plastic kitchen shelf liner and caulk glue and lined a shoebox so that you could have a bathtub. I taped a straw around the back of that bathtub so that you could have jets for extra bubbles while you soaked. My father's pool table was your lake. A second shoebox served as your speedboat. You took all your friends for boat rides along the green. Ken, the Donnie and Marie dolls, PJ, even Midge. But I couldn't be like you. I had to eat, and so I could only stand on my toes for so long when you stood like a dancer perpetually. I couldn't always smile. I was only a little girl, and I was cursed with brown eyes. What did you teach me? I pressed you next to Ken under the pink and white bed sheets, but your plastic bodies made a loud noise when you came together. Your legs never intertwined. Your smile never changed. And now, all grown up, I visit my parents' house and they tell me that I have boxes of toys that should actually just be thrown away. Kitchen accessories for the Barbie camper. Beaded dresses I made myself. And I think I could give these toys to my niece so that she could play, so that she could learn. And then I decide, no, these dolls, these values, these memories, they belong sealed in cardboard boxes where only time can take its toll. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The next one, the next poem in this book, Eternal, Never Ending Now, is, ha ha ha, fun one on a different track, I guess. It's titled The One at Mardi Gras. I was at Mardi Gras last weekend, and I got a bunch of bees from parades. No, I didn't lift my shirt for them. And a friend of mine had a balcony on Bourbon Street, so we all went on it on Friday night. And this swarm of people stretched for over a mile. It was a mob, and no one could walk, and the crowd just kind of carried them along. And all the men expected women to get naked for them for beads, and from my balcony I would see every few minutes a series of flash pops, coupled with a roar from the crowd, and I knew that a woman lifted her shirt for the screaming masses. I refused, however, to strip for drunk strangers when I knew they all expected me to, being on a balcony and all. So men would look up at me and stretch out their arms, looking up inquisitively as if to ask me either to give them beads or for me to strip. And since I wasn't stripping and I had plenty of my own beads, I decided I'd turn the tables on these men and see if they'd accept the same conditions they asked of these women. When these men would look up for something, I would say, "Drop your pants!" And they would look up at me, confused, like the women are supposed to be the ones doing all the stripping. But in general, I would get two responses from the men. Either they would look at me as if to say I was crazy and walk away, or else they just shrug their shoulders as if to say, okay, and then they'd start unzipping their pants. And then they'd make a gesture to turn around as if to ask, "Do you want to see my butt?" And then that's what I'd have to yell, "The front!" and then they'd turn back around and they'd have their pants and their underwear at their knees, and they'd start moving their hips, which I didn't ask for, by the way. So, over the course of the evening, I managed to get at least 20 men to strip like this for me. And I was amazed that there was a society, this microcosm of society, that allowed this kind of debauchery on the streets, a sort of prostitution for plastic beads form of capitalism. So, I was reveling in this bizarre annual ritual when this man, average to everyone else, wearing gray and minding his own business, decided to look up at me. So I asked him to drop his pants. And instead of disgustedly leaving or willingly obliging, he crossed both arms in front of his chest and looked up at me as if to say, "You want me to do what? You naughty, naughty girl." And he just smiled and looked up at me. And it occurred to me that I finally found someone in this massive crowd that thinks the way I do. Now, New Orleans has a population, from what I hear, of about 1 million, but during Mardi Gras there are about 9 or 10 million people. And all I could think was that of all these people here, I finally found someone who wouldn't blindly do what I asked, but at the same time wouldn't think I was crazy for asking. Of course, as I looked at him, I also happened to think that he was stunning, by far the best looking man I'd ever seen that entire night. He looked like he had style, he was self-confident. But then again, I'm nearsighted and I was on a balcony drunk at Mardi Gras. We hit an impasse when he wouldn't strip and neither would I, so his attention was eventually diverted to other balconies. But I noticed for the next half hour that he never left from under my balcony. And every once in a while, he would still turn around to look up at me. Oh, boy, I was thinking this entire time, I know this is no way to start a relationship. Hell, I'm sure this guy lives nowhere near me, and I haven't even had an actual conversation with him. But he's damn near perfect. And all that time we were just all screaming and partying at Mardi Gras, and he would still occasionally turn around to make sure that I was still there. And finally he looked up at me, signaling that he had to go and move on with his friends. So I held up my index finger to make him wait, and then I threw a bunch of beads at him. Pardon me, threw them because he was a good sport, putting up with my taunting and still not giving in. But part of me threw the beads because I saw in him the strong values and the sense of self-worth, the sheer love of life, the desire to be alive that I possessed all along and have always longed for in someone else. Oh, that's a fun one to do. And I should also, and the people are showing up on the live feed during the reading of the poem. Hello, hello. You guys are double plus awesome for tuning in. I hope you like this bizarre filter that's on the live feed, because I just thought I should just try something different. But I was going to share only 2 more poems with you, and they're shorter. They are related to each other in a manner of speaking. And in fact, when the publisher was putting this together, I said, I just have to make sure that these 2 poems are facing each other on the page so that people get it, that this is a thing that is supposed to be that way. So this first one, about relationships, these 2 poems. This first one is called Who You Tell Your Dreams To. We were driving down the freeway, you and me in your pickup truck, and your girlfriend in between, where you could move that gear shift and it would mean so much to you. And you saw something that you thought was beautiful, and you said, look at the lines, look at how it was made. And you were inspired by the beauty of an everyday object that no one else noticed. And your girlfriend, riding in the middle, said, that's him. People think he's crazy. And I just thought, no, it just depends on who you tell your dreams to. But I couldn't say it in the truck. I wouldn't say it. Okay, you guys, here's the one for the opposing page. Quasi-related for you guys. And the last one I was going to share from this book for you guys. And it is titled You and Me and Your Girlfriend. We went out for drinks together, you and me and your girlfriend, to a restaurant in Malibu with a balcony that hung over the water. Had a perfectly lovely time, you and me and your girlfriend, talking about life, catching up, and you suggest that we go out on the balcony. And I thought that would be charming for you and me and your girlfriend, but we hadn't paid our bill yet. So your girlfriend suggested that we should go on without her. We stood outside, leaned on the rail. You and me listened to the waves crash on the rocks below us, and we talked. But now it was not about catching up, you and me. It was about ideas, dreams, plans. And before I knew it, we had been out there for nearly an hour. And I said, what about your girlfriend? She's been waiting for us this whole time. And you said, oh yeah, and didn't move an inch. Those are my 2-word relationship poems that I was going to close this off for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed those poems, starting with one about the notion of how Barbie doll tells people how they're supposed to, think of women in general, to the one at Mardi Gras, which is a fun one of turning the tables for how women can be objectified, and it's totally normal, and this is okay, to dealing with relationships of people when you are a third wheel and trying to figure out how to make sense out of it all. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I might be reading more from this in the near future. I don't know if I will do a Wednesday evening at the Cafe Gallery reading or not. I don't know. But these were just a few poems from the book Eternal Never Ending Now. It is from cyberwit.net. It is an India-based printer, but they have not only links on their web pages for it. I'm not sure if my name and the book is on the main page still or not. It's been over a month. It might not be, I don't know. But you can find it through Amazon, or if you can go to janetkuypers.com, you can find links to it. And even at Scars Publications, because I run this site, I'm like, oh, I'll put this on there, even though it's not a Scars Publications book, just to have it in the listing of books of my own in there. I hope everyone is remaining safe. I hope everyone is remaining creatively, poetically inclined. And if you are getting fed up with being stuck like this. You know, my next doctor's appointment is going to be a telephone call again in a couple days. Joy! At least I don't have to drive there, I guess. I don't know. But if you're having a hard time, know that you're not alone and know that you're loved. We're all going to get through this. It will happen. And as I said, you're not alone and you are loved. It will get better. So I want each and every one of you to hang out in there, and I will talk to all of you very, very soon. Thank you very, very much.